Hey everyone, Steve Packarduni here, your LD4 State Senate candidate, with this week's Sunday with Steve video. So actually it's Monday. Sunday with Steve got postponed because the weather was inclement yesterday. They got the weather wrong. It was supposed to be nice. I looked at the weather forecast early on, and they said there was almost a 0% chance of participation for most of the day yesterday. And that was incorrect. It rained most of the day. We had some people over the house for Labor Day. We always do it the Sunday, not on the Monday because of the traffic coming back from the shore. We have friends over from the city, and unfortunately we didn't get to enjoy we enjoyed their company as always, and we did have some burgers and normal barbecue stuff, but unfortunately we didn't get to enjoy the pool because weather forecast was wrong. I know it's tough to predict the weather. They were off by a few hours or whatever it was. So that's what happened yesterday. So that's why you're getting a Monday's edition of it. And also I get my day screwed up when there's a holiday in there. So, campaign wise, another busy week, out every night, out every day, making calls, dropping literature, talking to people. And unfortunately, we're going to talk about weather this week because we had a severe weather event happened only a few miles from my house in Mantua and Deptford, and we had a tornado touchdown, and it actually did affect someone that we know, someone that goes to school with my son, and their house got damaged. It's livable, thank God. They're okay, thank God. And their block got hit very, very hard. And these things happen, and it's horrible. We've had damage at our house from a tornado, or they called it straight line wind at that time, about 8 years ago or so, and I did have some roof problems and things. And it does happen. And unfortunately, I called it. I knew, of course, the politicians, the governors would have come down, toward the damage, and the elected officials, the elected state senate candidate and the assembly candidates, and they brought the congressman in from the other district, the district closest to where it happened, because Congressman Van Drew is a Republican. So they didn't invite him. So he went and toured the damage on his own, but Governor Murphy didn't invite him, and they had to say, we brought Donald Norcross in from Congressional District 1 because he was a Democrat. Well, the storm didn't know Democrats from Republicans or unaffiliated or anything. Congressman Van Drew represents those people in that district where the damage was, and he went and assessed it. He's already provided information for them to reach out to the federal government, FEMA, for help and assistance and whatever they can do to get their homes repaired. There's some, unfortunately, that have been displaced that are going to need some housing. But it was just such a political dog and pony show, and I expected nothing less from the governor. I called it the day before when he said he was coming down to Gloucester County, and I said he's going to do a big photo op and he's going to blame climate change. And he did a big photo op and blamed climate change. These people that their houses were destroyed, their neighborhoods are destroyed, some lost everything, some of the houses were leveled. They didn't need to hear about climate change. All they wanted to find out is, what can they do to put their lives back together again? And how's the state of New Jersey going to help them? Unfortunately, the state of New Jersey failed. Governor Murphy failed again. No one knew this storm was coming this bad. The tornadoes were happening. We were told we were going to get a lot of rain and be prepared for flooding. It's okay. I'll give them that. He did not declare a state of emergency till after it happened. Hours after it happened, actually 4 hours after it happened, 10 o'clock at night, and these came through around 6 o'clock or so. The state of emergency should have been declared well in advance of the storm. We would have had everything in position, and it would have scrambled our emergency management teams, brought up the National Guard, and unfortunately, none of that happened. None of that happened. So that's failure again on Murphy's part, and then to blame climate change, to push a political agenda while the residents of New Jersey are suffering. We've had flooding up and down the state. We've had damage up and down the state, and it's sad. It happens. We've had bad storms before. Not unfortunately, but this is what happens when we, have a lot. Sorry about nice and quiet around here. And thank God for our first responders and firefighters and law enforcement who risked their lives to go and check and go in these houses to make sure the people were okay. So I'm not going to complain about a fire truck going past my house. Thank God for those people. But getting back to the subject, we live in a densely populated state. So unfortunately, when severe weather comes through, which is normal, it does come through. It's not climate change causing that. Man's not changing the climate. The climate has been on Earth has been changing for billions of years. We've had ice ages and everything else. It happens. These people didn't need to hear that. They need help. We need help here in Gloucester County. The state needs help and leadership, not photo ops. They all came down with white shirts on and to inspect the damage and talk to the homeowner who had the worst damage. That's all political stuff. Where Congressman Van Drew just toured the areas, talked to people, and got them the information they needed for help. For help. That's what the government is in place to do, is to help us residents and citizens. So, I expected nothing less from Murphy. And, every picture I figured, okay, he'll give it a rest. So he's still out there touring that damage, the flood damage and thing. And as he should be, he's the governor. Every picture on social media has him, in it, showing the damage. Well, we know what you look like, Governor. We like to see the damage, and what are you going to do to help these people? I know he pledged $10 million for small business. Sounds like a lot of money. He also pledged before $10 million for small business. Think about it. A lot of small businesses in New Jersey, not a lot. But it's very interesting, though. He had no problem pledging and getting out $40 million, which he pledged, to help illegal immigrants that are in the country, illegal in our state, for their legal defense. Not house them, feed them. Their legal defense to fight our immigration laws. But we're going to give $10 million to businesses in New Jersey that were damaged during the storms. Seems a little off to me. I just hope and I pray that the people that this affected their lives, they can get their lives back together again. The community has come together for them. It's amazing, the outpour of volunteers, the supplies that were given. So many things happened, especially from our law enforcement agencies and our first responders and our firefighters. It's been overwhelming, and that's what it's about. That's what New Jersey Strong is about. We take care of our own. We're not worried about the politicians and what they're going to do for us. So I'm going to end this Sunday with Steve. With that, say a prayer for our friends and neighbors. Help them any which way you can. This isn't going to go away soon. It'll be out of the news probably in a day if it's not out already. But these people are going to need help for weeks on end. And that's what I plan to do, help them any which way I can. There's a few things out there that they were collecting money for. They needed fuel for the generators they're running. It gets very expensive. There was help that way. And supplies and cleaning supplies and meals later. Meals a week from now or 2 weeks from now when you still don't have a kitchen, you still have to eat. So to help feed these families. And also, some school supplies for the kids going back. I'm sure, the parents were prepared. And the school supplies got damaged during the storms for the people who lost their homes. So try to get some normalcy back for these kids too. All right, everyone. Thank you for listening to this week's special Monday edition of Sunday with Steve. And we'll talk to you next week. Everyone have a great week. Talk to you soon. Thank you.